Hey y'all, and welcome to the Maple Mafia channel. We're the Maple Mafia on YouTube in correlation with the Mr. Maple Show. We like to go live on the Maple Mafia and talk to you about the Maple Mafia eBay store. So that's what we're going to be doing a little bit today, guys. We've also had a flash sale Friday. A lot of cool things going off today. You guys are going to want to check out this eBay, though. A lot of these items will be ending directly after this live stream.
You know, while we were sitting here, they pulled up for the first time that I actually saw the thumbnail for this live video, and that's just crazy. It's like a big house that's just been AI'd in the background with me and Matt in suits.
We've been making so much money off this eBay, man. We're moving up in the Mafia world. We had like a Bugatti or something last week. I don't know what it was. I'm too redneck to even know what kind of car that was.
I guess it's just always Mafia themes.
That's what Corbin's playing with. He was trying to make us look like some Mafia ballers, I think.
Next time there's going to be a bed with a horse's head in it.
Oh, I hope not. All right, let's hop into it, guys. We've got Acer Pictum Nuri Nishi. This is a rare 1 gallon Pictum. One of my all-time favorite Pictums. The colors on this are amazing. Yeah,
and this tree ends in 58 minutes and 41 seconds on the Maple Mafia eBay. So we'll have that link here for the eBay store as well in this live chat. But I'm telling you, this is next level Pictum, super white. To me, it's one of the whitest Japanese maples out there. It's really white with almost green variegation, just a few dots of green on it. And it is stunning when you see this out in the garden. It's very stunning. I mean, it's one of the just pure white trees out there. Typically, I'd say give this tree some protection from the hot afternoon sun, simply because it is so white. But there's nothing else like this, and then you get that variegation on that larger batwing leaf.
We're also live in our Facebook group, Mr. Maple Friends. So if you see us over there, make sure to subscribe to the Maple Mafia channel so you never miss some of our live chats. I went live this week, guys, and just walked around with the phone, me and Sean. Showed you some of the new things arriving from Buckholtz on the Maple Mafia channel. So I'm going to keep creating more low edit, fun content for this channel. It's just a chance to basically get a behind the scenes look at stuff. Stuff we won't be editing, but it kind of comes out to you guys in real time.
Now, before we go any further, we do have that flash sale Friday that Matt was talking about earlier. That's on MrMaple.com, and you'll find Amber Ghost on sale, Emperor 1, Filigree, First Ghost, Lily Pad, Orange Dream, Purple Ghost, Shishigashira, Sister Ghost, and Miss Sayori. Looks like we got a ghost theme for Halloween for what's actually on sale right now. Y'all, a bunch of cool plants on sale, and a lot of them are $5 to $10 off. So you'll have to check out the Flash Sale Friday on MrMaple.com. Now back to what we've got going on eBay. Now, as these trees go off, new trees come on. So we've got a lot of new things getting listed in 56 minutes and an hour and 11 minutes when these things are actually going off. So you can see the new things that are getting listed immediately after this live chat. Some of these things will be selling out, and then some of these things, new things will be getting listed. We're putting 20 trees on eBay a week. That means we've got 10 going on Friday, and 10 going off on Friday, and 10 going on Sunday, and 10 coming off on Sunday. So the next one we've got on here is Acer Palmatum Kaleidoscope. Now this is basically like a Shindasojo type of a Japanese maple that has just amazing. I think he pulled up the kaleidoscope photo for the dogwood. But this thing has some amazing colors with pink variegation on it. And so this is a selection from California that, you know, we've got a stock plant of, and we hadn't really been producing in big numbers. But I said, you know, hey, here's one. Let's throw it here on the eBay store. It's one that probably wouldn't have made it to the limited. It was one that didn't have a page on the website, never been listed before. And this was the first time we've ever offered it on Mr. Maple, through the Maple Mafia here on eBay.
All right, guys, next up, we've got a rare Chinese maple, one of the rarest species you'll ever find. We love this one. We do try to bring it back frequently. Acer Calcaratum. This is a weird, cool plant. I first saw this at Westernbird Arboretum in the UK. Our trees are actually sourced back to that succession number. It's actually one of the rarest trees in the entire world for a maple. You don't see it a lot in nature. It rarely seeds. We've had a few seeds come off of it here. It was one of the first ever documented cases of this tree having seeds. We do graft these straight onto palmatum. They are going to work more zone 6 through 9, not zone 5. So I've had one out here in zone 6 for many years. Really cool plant we've been growing at the Buckholtz Farm was for a while too. You get some really nice coloration on this. The new growth can actually have a lot of interesting, glossy, like pink and almost orange expression over top of the green that kind of like these blushing new growths. I've had yellow some years in fall color, but I've also had really bold orange to red.
Now, this tree is in section palmata, so I mean, it's closely related to a Japanese maple, but it's rare in cultivation to actually be produced. It has a leaf that looks like basically a turtle foot, where most, or like a frog foot, while all of the other Acer palmatums have more of the turtle foot. Is that, I'm saying it right? Anyways, one's frog foot, one's turtle foot.
Turtles. What are you asking me, man? You're the Mr. Maple turtle frog.
I guess
expert.
It's got the turtle foot, where the maples, the palmatum typically have the frog foot. I'm getting it all mixed up. But anyways, their leaves are completely different. They're closely related.
I think this would be more like the Kaede, the frog foot. It's more like the trident maple.
Yeah. And I'm telling you, it is awesome. It is amazing. Has a good, strong, upright habit. The new growth is just orange, pinks. You get like a Fruit Loop of colors on the new growth. And to me, next level plant, rare species that you can add to your garden. It makes a beautiful tree out in the landscape. We had a big one at Maplewood Gardens for quite a while. I love Acer Calcaratum. To me, it just gives you something that's different, that's grafted onto palmatum, but it's a cool species that's pretty rare.
Rare to see seed, but beautiful flowers on this as well. So, all right, coming in here next, we've got Acer Japonicum Orange Fan. This is another blushing spring interest one. Goes great with Blushing Beauty. I love pairing the two together. This one kind of blushes the orange in the spring. So Orange Fan is a Talon Buckholtz introduction. Large, round foliage Japonicum. We'll be getting this one back in the trade more, too. Talon had sold down a lot of his stocks. We were willing to part with one of our larger 1-gallon stock plants here on eBay, but great plant. You might want to check that one out if you hadn't already. Very unique plant.
Yeah, and this is one that we've probably not putting any sets out for a little bit through Mr. Maple, because Talon had sold down on his stock plants. And he didn't have many plants on the property. I think there was 1 or 2 on the whole entire property at Buckholtz Nursery.
We've got it restarted there, though. And
that's why we said, hey, you know, we can release one for eBay, even though we don't have any sets coming on of these anytime soon. It's got that large Japonicum leaf that you love, and with that additional orange color on the leaves.
All right, guys, coming in here next. In an hour 50 right now from the current time while we're recording this, we've got Acer Bajuri Sliding Rock. First time ever offered here. This is an Area 51 introduction. This is a more weeping version of Angio Weeping, so it's even more pendulous. It's more of a Ryusen style than Angio Weeping. It's a selection made here, named for Sliding Rock, which is a local water feature here in western North Carolina. As I was a kid, we would go out to Sliding Rock and slide down this big rock face into the water. It kind of has water flowing over it, so sticking with that waterfall theme. Great plant, guys. This one actually leaves out with a kind of a blushing of red as well, and has oranges to red in the fall color.
And you can see exactly how weeping this is on the eBay photo of the 1 gallon, because it has that heavily cascading habit. And that's the reason why this tree stood out to us. We went through plenty of trident maple seedlings and weeping seedlings, and to us, this one has had the most potential and is one of the neatest of those weeping selections we've ever seen.
Also ending today, we've got a 3-gallon of a heat seeker. We've got Hot Chicken, y'all. This is a big one. It's a fast grower. It's kind of on point with the Hot Blonde. Gets out there pretty quickly. Hot Chicken selected for having that feather sessilifolium style foliage. So it has it's got ruffled feathers. It's got a cool look to it. Hot Chicken, a little play on the Nashville Hot Chicken. You kind of get this bronzing over it in the early spring. Kind of has a talon tassel kind of look to it. Very much a fun plant, though. Reminds me of some of those big fluffy chickens. I don't know what you call them. Some of the ones from over in Europe they collect with the kind of the fluffy ruffled feet feathers. Looks pretty cool.
That's an interesting way to describe it. But it does have some of the bronze colors that's pretty spectacular. This was a seedling we collected at World Maple Park that is just very unique. I know when we went there, Yano-san, Masayoshi Yano, had one similar to this, and he was bragging about it and talking. It was one of his pride things. He took us to his back greenhouse, his Area 51 essentially, to show us this one seedling he'd collected. And he allowed us to collect seed off of the same tree he'd collected that from, and that's where we found this Hot Chicken.
Great one from that Heat Seeker series. It actually comes from the same original parent plant as Hot Tamale and Hot Sauce, so pretty cool lineage there. All right, guys, moving along, we've got Acer Palmatum Kintaro-san.
And, Y'all, this is a next level selection. We'd kept back a number from stocks after we'd released it on MrMaple.com. And, it may be a minute until we can release more of these because I think this is a priority for us for production. Kentaro-san is a small leaf selection by a guy named Kentaro. And he was from France. Well, he was in France and he studied bonsai in Japan, became a master of bonsai. And this was his selection for a Japanese maple that is perfect for bonsai. And a lot of bonsai experts really think this is a next level tree to turn into bonsai.
I've had a lot of bonsai people after this one. It's got small leaves, has a little bit of a purple border in the spring, more of an upright tree shape, so it's not going to be in that Kiyohime form. It's more of a dwarf upright, 6 foot and 10 years kind of size range. The foliage and the twist and everything it has to it, I've been told, are exceptional for air layering for bonsai, and it develops a caliper nicely in the ground, so you can plant this tree then do air layers from it. I've actually seen bonsai experts take this one and drill holes into palmatums, then root this, basically grafting little stem grafts into palmatums to get this one going. Super cool plant, guys. I think it's going to become one that gets more and more popular as we get it back out there.
Next up, we've got 1 gallon of Acer Shirasanum Luna. This is one of the first time this has been offered in the United States. It's an Acer Shirasanum selection that is really just very... The thing is, there aren't many Acer Shirasanums in the nursery trade. This is a selection from Europe, and this is the very first time it's been offered in the United States here through Mr. Maple.
I'll have to look at my record book. It may be a Dick Vandermeer. I certainly know Dick was growing this one pretty frequently. Large, round leaves. Almost reminds you of a Japonicum, how big the leaves are, but they're in that Shirasanum family. Very nice ruffled look to it. Crisp green in the summer. I've had it go from orange to red in the fall. Really a showpiece, though. I think Luna's going to be a really cool one. Of course, Luna has the moon implications with it as well.
Yeah, and for us, we have a number of these that were stock plants, and eBay just allows us to be able to sell off one stock plant and keep the rest for production. Maybe it's just dwindling our stocks down through just selling through eBay slowly. I don't know.
It's fun, though.
But it's fun.
You guys asked for it, so we're doing it.
Yeah, and this is one that we wouldn't be offering very soon. It's probably a year or 2 out, but now through eBay, you've got a chance to get Acer Shirasanum Luna.
How about an hour, 2 hours and 40 minutes from now, Acer Pictum subspecies mono, the rare batwing maple. It's grafted, wild collected. Really cool piece here. Great source of seeds, too, if you like collecting Pictums. If you like batwing maples, you can get this species out, wild collected one. Draw some seeds off this for your own variability test. Great flowers on these, great durability, very heat tolerant, and all around really cool plant.
And typically the Acer Pictum subspecies monos, they go to a bright yellow, and this is a grafted version of that wild collected. Y'all, Acer Pictum Acer mono is some of the coolest plants out there. We talked about that Naguri Nishiki earlier that was that white variegated form. This is what you would find like growing naturally in the wild in Japan. And Matt and I saw a few of these at Nikko National Park, and I'm telling you, they're simply amazing. And when you see this in the landscape, it's a next level tree.
All right, one more ending today, and that is Acer Palmatum Bazinga.
And that is ending in 3 hours and 1 minute.
It's already got a lot of attention. You guys are going to love Bazinga. We keep bringing it back here at the farm. Offered these a few times at open houses recently, and they were very popular. I think last fall, or maybe the spring at open houses. I think the last open house we had a few too. Really cool though. Pink red coloration to it. A red selection that was actually from the Buckholz farm originally. It was a seedling. I believe Pat Marone was the guy's name that bought it from Buckholz, and eventually it ended up at Ed Shin's garden. So Ed Shin got the tree from Pat Marone and put the name Bazinga on it. So
yeah, he's the one that ended up actually putting that name on it of Bazinga, which has that Big Bang Theory reference of the Sheldon Cooper, the nerd who's always going Bazinga, or at least has the shirt that says Bazinga.
Great plant though. Again, any of the Maawa forms tend to get a lot of attention, and that one is ending right in about 3 hours from now. So if you're interested in Bazinga, check that one out. Now we have spaced our items out, so we do have items ending on Sunday evening as well. And our first one of those is Mystic Maawa in a 1 gallon.
Now Mystic Maawa is one of the more orange forms of Maawa Yatabusa in that Maawa Yatabusa family, a little slower growing than many of the other types, and it has that tightly layering habit and some great orange color. And Mystic Maawa is one that we can't ever keep it in stock because it sells out so quickly. And because of that, we have a few 1 gallons that we've decided to release through the eBay store.
Kathy Hornbuckle asked in the chat how big Sliding Rock gets. We expect it to get fairly big. I mean, it is a trident maple. Being that it's much more weeping, I think it's going to have a shape more indicative of something like Ryusen, but a little bit more vigorous than Ryusen. Now, we expect this tree, if you're staking it up, to be about 6 to 8 foot in 10 years by potentially 5 to 6 foot wide. Now, it's an estimation. Trident maples are much faster than Ryusen, but a very similar style and shape to Ryusen. All right, next up, we've got Acer Palmade Harriet Waldman.
Yeah, Harriet Waldman is a variegated form, more narrow habit, not commonly found in the nursery trade. Is a selection by some of our friends up in New Jersey, and it's basically a more narrow growing Arita No Nki.
Really cool, great colors to it. Fairly rare in the trade. You don't see it much anymore. Really cool overall. All right, next up we've got Acer Palmatum Ukigumo in a larger size here.
Yeah, this isn't a 2 gallon. Again, this is just one that came as a one-off from the Buchholz farm. And, I was debating whether to put it on limited release or put it on eBay. And I know everybody loves Ukigumo, so I figured I'd drop one on eBay and see how it's been doing. And that is the Floating Clouds maple. It's given you some great white color in some years. And then other years, every year, no matter what, it consistently gives you a good fall color. And that's the thing that I love about Ukigumo.
Bold oranges in the fall are really nice. All right, moving along here. And a good size on that one, too. It's pretty big size. Acer Bajuri Mino Yetsubusa, rare dwarf trident.
We're hitting up a lot of trident maples on this one.
It's good. It's cool stuff.
And Mino Yetsubusa is basically like a lace leaf trident. It's got some phenomenal fall color, as you see in the photo over here. And it is... if you grow this tree in more sunlight, dense and compact. If you grow this tree in a high shade canopy or deep shade, I've often seen it stretch out and grow a little bit taller. But typically, this thing's dense, compact, almost like a lace leaf type form, more of a ball shape. And the leaves on this are just unreal. They're very different than what you think of a typical trident maple.
But they are real. All right, moving along, we've got Acer Palmatum Kabuki.
So Kabuki is in that Arita No Nki family, but it gives you a lot more pinks in there, and you get some nice pure pinks and some pure whites on the leaves themselves. And often it's so variegated, you will get entire leaves themselves that are variegated, not just splotches on the leaves. We do have some videos on how to prune this style and that Harriet Waldman style, as how to prune the Arita No Nki style variegation to promote more variegation. And that's when you can really see these trees at their best.
I will say, as you've seen many forms like this, like as Ilarian is to being white, Kabuki is to being like soft pink. So you get some really cool shades on this one. You get a lot of extra color going on. All right, trident-centric one here. We've got Acer Bajuri Waco Nishiki.
Yeah, Waco Nishiki is a white version of a trident maple. And this thing right here, in the springtime, it's one of the most consistently white trees you can have in the garden.
Waco Nishiki is taking over the feed. I'm being sucked in. I love it, guys. This is one of the craziest plants. There was one at Tom Cox's that always caught my attention. They get big. I would say, a 15 to or so foot tree, but it really controls the landscape. Consistent variegation. Just a beauty. Bold red colors in the fall as well. It does go to a green after that spring flush of just really pale white. So really a showstopper there in the landscape.
Next up, we've got a large, basically I went to the Nakakodo Weepings and selected one of the biggest in that set, one of the ones that had some of the best form. Nakakodo Weeping, it's a classic Japanese maple, and it's a selection in Japan. It's the national treasure. It's one of the oldest trees in Japan that's actually recorded on how old it is. Some say 400, some say 600 years old. Has a really nice weeping habit to it. Green leaves. When we went and visited it with Nakata-san, it was going into fall color, as you can see above. But it just really has these really interesting trunks and really nice weeping habit to it.
Yeah, if you plant one in 400 years, it could look exactly like this. Just imagine how much this will go on eBay for in 400 years. Like, your resale on this is going to be nuts. I mean, you plant this 400 years from now, I'm thinking more than a 400% markup easily. Like, it's going to be worth $4 million. So, yeah, grab you a Nakakodo Weeping. When it gets like this one in the picture, You're getting rich.
Next up, y'all, one of the first times it's been offered through Mr. Maple, through our eBay store. It's never been offered, I don't think, on MrMaple.com. This is Acer Bajuri Engle stot. Some people believe this is to be a palmatum hybrid, and I would think likely so. It has just the characteristics of like a Matsumuri style, and likely hybridized with a Bajuri selection that was introduced into the nursery trade by Dick Vandermatt. And again, this is one of the very first time this tree's ever been offered.
Really cool, and one we've had here at the farm for a little bit. Love getting Dick Vandermatt's plants out there to honor him. We're going to continue to grow his entire collection and celebrate the life of Dick Vandermatt. And so you can count on Englestat showing up eventually on Mr. Maple, but wanted to get some out here early, some of our stock plants. All right, here's another rare one from Europe you don't see. Acer Calcaratum Seiyu.
Yeah, I mean,
not Seiyu.
We had
Seiyu.
We had someone the other day actually posting some photos of this in fall color in the Mr. Maple Friends group on Facebook. If you're not a member of that, make sure you go and join. You get to see a lot of cool things that are getting posted by us, our customers, and our friends in Europe and all over the world. And someone was sharing some photos of Seiyu, and people were posting underneath it, where can I find one? And I'm like, you know what? We're dropping one on eBay. We've got some stock plants, and this is a Calcaratum that we will be putting in production at some point in the future. And it just has that classic Acer Calcaratum leaf, really sharp, crisp edges. To me, this is a beautiful and distinctive Calcaratum that deserves a place in most people's gardens. And, you know, the photo that you see on eBay, starting fall color down low, our trees are at different levels here at MrMaple.com. Because of the hurricane, because it's fall, because trees are in pots in different areas all over the nursery. Some trees have already went to fall color. Some trees have already started to drop leaf. As you can see, this particular Seiyu had dropped leaf up top a little bit, but the bottom part of the tree was still in phenomenal fall color when we were taking photos of it.
Grab you one today. It's a cool one, guys. I think you're going to love Seiyu. It's one we're going to keep working on getting out there, but it might be a minute. And then here's a showstopper everybody loves. We've got Japanese Princess.
Yep. Last to end the eBay on Sunday is Japanese Princess. A nice 1 gallon we found around the greenhouses. Again, I didn't see enough to make a full set. And we said, hey, let's throw that on eBay. Everyone's loving the Maawa types. Definitely gives you some great pink colors. It's one of our favorite selections of all time by Talon Buchholz. He's introduced tons of plants, and it's one of our favorite maples he's ever introduced. Y'all, next level, pink dwarf, curling foliage, totally a next level tree. Do give it some protection from the hot afternoon sun for really the best growth rate, but if you give it some morning sun, you'll really peak up that spring color.
I went through those in the chat. There's a chat, there's a conversation group, what you call a thread on Facebook, where you can be in an individual chat for the Maple Mafia eBay. Again, our first item, Nuri Nishiki, is going off in less than 36 minutes from now. So be ready for that if that's something you're interested in. These are all going to be on the Maple Mafia eBay store. So if that's something you like, definitely go check that out. You'll see tons of information there on us. We'll also post the link in our Facebook group. Make sure you're on a legit page, Maple Mafia. Go check it out, guys. There's going to be some really cool stuff ending today in the next 2 hours, and then also Sunday evening. And as these items are ending, more items are popping up. So you can actually, when you click on one of these items, you can actually go to see the other items that Maple Mafia is listing. And as these trees go off, more trees get listed. And so you're going to start seeing all the things that'll be going off next week, on next Friday, on next Sunday. And so a lot of cool plants we've got on there, and some trees that just came in from the Buchholz farm. Thanks for tuning in today, guys. We appreciate all your continued support, shopping with us. Take care. God bless. Have a great day.